are back. It is the Web Insurance Countdown to Kickoff on 1150 WIMA. It is week 5. Man, hitting the halfway mark already. And time to look back to our picks from last week and talk about the big games this week and make our picks. Todd Walker here. Mike Miller, Jason Aldrich are alongside as we look back to last week. And why wouldn't we? Because somebody went 5-0 for the second time in 4 weeks.
Really? I did?
That
I
would
thought I
be-
missed on St. Henry Coldwater.
That would be
Oh, you did.
this guy.
Oh, okay. Very
5-0
good.
last week.
All right.
Just for review,
All right.
Wapakoneta Bath, Skins win. We all had that one.
All right.
That was probably the gimme of the week. St. Mary's at Elida. Jason, I can't remember if that was a coin or not, went with Elida, and they lost in overtime.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
So Mike and I got that one right, picking the Rough Riders.
Go ahead and blame the coin.
Yeah,
absolutely. Our broadcast game last week was LCC at Columbus Grove, and I was the only one that picked the T-Birds.
All right.
So I got that one right. You two, of course, did not. Also, St. Henry at Coldwater, one of our pick games. Jason and I correctly picking the Cavaliers to make it 20 in a row.
And for the record, I openly took St. Henry just as a separator and a break from the pack. So there.
Just for the record, you were wrong. And we all picked Lima Senior at Fremont Ross, and we picked the Spartans over Little Giants, and we all got that right. So, just to review the standings, after 4 weeks, yours truly 17-3, Miller 15-5, Aldrich 14-6. So, starting to get a little bit of separation here.
Yeah.
Let's go to this week's games, and not as many big games as last week maybe, but some interesting matchups. We'll start with our broadcast game, Lima Senior at Toledo St. Francis. Last year at Lima Stadium, 72-61 Knights. You may recall that debacle of a game. And the Knights, this year only 1-3, but they still have their man back, Lamar Carswell, that did all the damage last year to the Spartans. I got to believe that this year, with Carswell being enemy number 1 at Lima Senior, I'm going to take the Spartans tonight to win at the Glass Bowl.
Well, I'm going to take the Spartans, not just because Carswell is enemy number 1. I think the Spartans are a much better defensive football team. I think it's been proven with their 4 victories so far. Who doesn't think that trend is going to continue? Plus, I think the Lima kids are going to be jacked and really psyched to have the opportunity to play at a big college stadium like the Glass Bowl. And plus, on paper, Lima Senior, frankly, is just the better team than the St. Francis Knights. So I'm taking Lima Senior, and that's exciting. That game's on WIMA.
No doubt about it. Jason, what do you think tonight?
I think Coach Fell and the staff are going to use last year's game as motivation. Obviously, they don't want to give up the 72 points, and I think this is a team determined to put last year behind them definitely and keep it rolling here this season. I'll go with the Spartans.
You know, this week they'll get to 5-0 if they win. You know, Lima Senior has never been 6-0, ever.
Wow.
If you're looking ahead to the next week. Let's move to the Northwest Conference. Key game tonight, Spencerville home for Columbus Grove. We've had those two on WIMA each of the last 2 weeks. Spencerville is 4-0. Grove suffered its first loss last week to LCC. Can they bounce back tonight in the Ville, Mike?
I went with Columbus Grove last week, and they let me down. That's one of the reasons I'm going for Lima Central Catholic. But
You're going for Spencerville?
or Spencerville, I'm sorry, yeah, right. But I'm not sure how much both Spencerville or Columbus Grove have necessarily been tested to this point. Spencerville certainly has piled up some impressive numbers. I think Columbus Grove wasn't really tested maybe until the Lima Central Catholic game, and they had a wire job to beat Pandora Gilboa right out of the gate. But yeah, I'll take Spencerville. I'm a believer in the Bearcats, more so by, I think, is a pretty good defense. They're putting big points on the board, but I think their defense is going to carry them through for a little ways this year, including tonight.
Jason, who you got? Spencerville, Columbus Grove.
This is one that's really pulling at me here, but I'm going to take Spencerville. I think they've got a little bit more guys that can make more plays than Columbus Grove does.
Yeah, I picked LCC to beat Grove last week. I'll take Spencerville to beat Grove this week. Moving on to what should be a Northwest Conference game. If they hadn't kicked them out, LCC will host Delphus Jefferson. The T-Birds are 3-1, and the Jeff Cats are 4-0. This game in Lima tonight. I think Jefferson's a lot better than people thought they were, but I also think they haven't played anybody. I'm taking the T-Birds tonight to beat Jefferson.
I'm taking what you said as a second thing. Jefferson's schedule hasn't been all that great. I'm not certain they're all that great. I'm taking Lima Central Catholic.
Jason, what do you say?
I will make it a sweep. I'll go
All
with
right.
LCC as well.
Well, so far, we're all in agreement on all three games. Looks like that could be a trend. Wapakoneta at Salina, big game tonight on our sister station, 107.5 WZRX. That game at Salina. Mike, you'll have the call on that one. Can the Bulldogs bounce back from a loss at OG a couple weeks ago and get back in the thick of the WBL race?
Oh, they can, actually. Salina's a very good football team, and to me, this maybe is their last big test. Obviously, it's huge for Wapakoneta. The key in this game is Salina quarterback Caleb Hoyne. If Wapakoneta can get to him and roust him and make his life miserable and essentially shut down Salina's ability to throw the football, then Wapak wins the football game. And to this point, they've done it to everybody they played, including their non-conference opponent, Bellefontaine, who's crushed everybody after Wapakoneta beat him. So I'm saying Wapakoneta wins a close, very competitive game at Salina tonight.
All right, Jason, what do you say?
Again, another one I thought about leaving to fate to decide, but yeah, I just think Wapak is really focused right now. I'll take the Redskins on the road.
And I will make it a sweep. I'm going on the record. I'm not picking against Wapak all year, and unless something really bad happens.
What about your Titans, Todd? Come on.
That's a few weeks away.
All
So
right,
we'll
very
see if bad things happen to somebody
Very
in
good.
the meantime.
Yep.
Our final game tonight could be a separator. It is St. Mary's at Bath tonight. The Riders won a wild one in overtime at Elida last week. Bath got it handed to them by Wapakoneta. Mike, how do you see this one playing out?
This is a tough call. I'm telling you, because St. Mary's has some genuine confidence from what they've been able to do this year. And I actually had a pretty good impression with Bath. What concerned me was their inability to throw the football against Wapakoneta. Close call. I think Bath will win a close game with St. Mary's, largely because it's at home. It matters with Bath, so I'll take Bath.
Jason, what do you think? Bath, St. Mary's.
Well, let's ask the coin.
All right.
Heads is Bath the home team. Tails is St. Mary's the road team. We're going tails, St. Mary's.
All right. Well, you're going to be the outlier because I'm taking Bath to win that game tonight against St. Mary's. And I do think that'll be a very close and probably a very fun game from Bath tonight. So that wraps up our pick reviews and our picks for this week. And when we come back, we'll visit with Mark Coons from TV44 and WOSN. Our broadcast game tonight is Lima Senior and Toledo St. Francis here on 1150 WIMA.